who's as adamant about his or her position as I am about mine, whom you think is sharp. Seriously, we know that. And another thing, we heard him say that... Hey sports fans, Larry Elder here with episode number 62 of And Another Thing. You have to raise your index finger when you say it. And Another Thing. And if you'd like to become an Eldorado, go to LarryElder.com, fill out the form, become an Eldorado. It'll cost you about $4.75 a month, and you'll get a free copy of Michael and Me. What is Michael and Me? Well, thank you for asking. It's my award-winning DVD feature-length documentary where we talk about the Second Amendment, go over the history of the Second Amendment, go over the dictators that have used gun grabbing in order to seize power, and I confront Michael Moore, and I ask him 3 times, you heard it right, I confront him. I ambush him the way he did Charlton Heston, and I ask him 3 times how many Americans are alive every year because they use guns to defend themselves, and 3 times, well, you have to get the DVD to find out how evasive the director answered. Now for episode number 62 of And Another Thing. I want to talk about the alleged Republican war on women and the prospect for Hillary Rodham Clinton in the year 2016. My mother used to have an expression my grandfather taught her. It was called he blanked and stepped back in it, meaning he expelled waste and stepped back in it. I can't use the actual barnyard epithet. This is a family show. Meaning the Democratic Party has launched this so-called war against the Republican Party by arguing that the Republican Party is engaging in hostile actions towards women. What they say is Republicans are engaging in a war on women, presumably because they want to restrict women's abortion rights by overturning Roe v. Wade. That seems to be about the only argument. The other argument is Republicans don't want to raise minimum wage, and therefore that's a war on women. In any case, that's the Republican portrayal as far as the Democrats are concerned. Republicans are engaging in a war against women. Let's analyze that. President Obama in the White House pays his male staffers more money than he pays his female staffers. I'm not saying he's cheating anybody. I'm not saying he's exploiting anybody. I'm not saying people are not being fairly compensated. I am saying if the mantra is equal pay for equal work and women are getting shafted because they're only making 77 cents on the dollar compared to what men are making, how can Obama justify paying his male staffers more money than his female staffers? He also paid his female staffers less money than his male staffers in the Senate. And during his presidential campaign, he paid his male staffers more money than he paid his female staffers. So Obama has been consistent. So has Dianne Feinstein. Dianne Feinstein apparently also pays her male staffers more than she pays her female staffers, as does Barbara Boxer. Speaking of war on women, there was a book by Ron Suskind about the Obama White House. And the reason this book is relevant, as opposed to any other book written about any other administration, is that Ron Suskind is a respected journalist, and the Obama administration gave him access to the White House, gave him access to members of the administration, one of whom was Anita Dunn. He spoke to Anita Dunn, and Anita Dunn told Ron Suskind that the White House sexism was so thick that if this were the private sector, we would have a complaint of it being a hostile workplace. Wow. The Obama administration, married to Michelle, I am woman, hear me roar. The Obama administration, the one that accuses the George W. Bush administration, Republicans in general, of being cold and callous towards women, are actually paying his female staffers less money than his male staffers. And Anita Dunn actually said that the Obama White House was so sexist that it would be brought up on charges as a hostile working environment if it were the private sector. Book comes out. Anita Dunn, of course, denies. I hope you enjoyed this small excerpt. If you want to see the full video, got to be an Eldorado. Go to my website, LarryElder.com, log in, fill out the form. It'll cost you about $4.75 a month, or about the price of a mocha frappuccino latte at your favorite coffee house. As you can tell, I don't like coffee. I'm a tea drinker. See you next time.